and welcome to the Gooner Tool, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Tactical Breakdown series show in which we look at the players that have been linked to Arsenal in the past and the present and the future, and hopefully some of which we'll see join Arsenal this summer. And today is no different as we look at the Turkish midfielder Hakan Çalhanoglu. Now, we've got some interesting information that I had not seen too much in terms of over Twitter. There's some little tidbits out there, but I certainly jumped on those and got the inside story as best I could. And you've got some really nice juicy gossip in today's show as well, in addition to, of course, all of the fantastic statistical analysis that we do here and that I know you enjoy very greatly. And if you do so, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn those notifications on so you never miss a show. And if you'd like to get involved with the Gooner Talk even more, you can become a member as well and get access to loads of exclusive content. We've got a ex-professional footballer lined up for the show's expert member program for this week, so looking forward to releasing that to you guys. All plans bearing in mind if they go to plan. It'd be nice if they did. I'm pretty darn sure they will, but that should be fun. But let's jump straight back into the reason why you've clicked on this video, and that is, of course, to talk about Hakan Çalhanoglu. Now, I'm going to pass over to Italian football journalist Emanuele Guilianelli, and he's going to give you the best insight feasible and some interesting info about Arsenal's interest during the January transfer window. So, Emanuele, take it away, mate.
Hi everybody, I am Emanuele Guilianelli, Italian football journalist and writer. I cooperate with many big media from all around the world. I mean, from 442 to Gazzetta dello Sport to Panenka to Corriere della Sera. I've written even on The Guardian and many other media. They have asked me to tell something about the rumors on the possible selling of Milan, of Çalhanoglu, of Hakan Çalhanoglu from Milan to Arsenal. Let's say that Arsenal were already very interested in Çalhanoglu since this window transfer, the winter window transfer in January. And maybe it was Arteta himself to want him to give some fantasy, some skill, some quality skills in the midfield to his Arsenal. But Boban, especially Boban and Maldini, that now in a certain way rule the transfer market of Milan, they rejected the offer, not because the offer in terms of money was not satisfying, but because Stefano Pioli, Milan manager, Milan trainer, still thinks that the German Turkish midfielder can give something very important to his Milan. I mean, Çalhanoglu is arrived at his third season with the Rossoneri. He has played much, he has played many matches, but he has never given the feeling to be the right man in the right place. I mean, when Milan bought him from Bayer Leverkusen, they thought he could be the man that could give much quality to their playing, to their style, to become, the real number 10 in Milan team. But sometimes he has made some very important matches, but he hasn't been never continuous in his playing and in his performances. Some up and downs, too many up and downs from him. But now Stefano Pioli has decided to bet high on him, and he has shown his choice in the recent derby of Sunday evening, when Çalhanoglu was lined up right behind Ibrahimovic, with Castillejo and Rebic on his side. In this position, he was ready to attack. He was ready to give some important balls in for Ibrahimovic to create. In fact, despite the losing of Milan that lost 4-2, Çalhanoglu was, I think, the best player of AC Milan in that match. He has created much. He has gone really close to score, and he has played a very important match. I think that from this derby could start again the experience, the career of Haçan Çalhanoglu in Milan, if he wants, because it's all up to him. I think he's a player, as I said, is not so continuous. It depends on him. He has to find some continuity. He has to find the willing of doing better and better to play as he knows, as he wants. At the end of this season, I think Milan will have a decision on his future. His contract's deal with AC Milan will end in 2021. So if they don't decide to sell him in June and he doesn't sign a new contract, Milan will risk to lose him the next January, in January 2021, as a free agent. So I think that or they will find an agreement to extend the length of his contract, or they will sell him in the summer. Could he be the right man for Arsenal? I think yes, because he reminds another German, Turkish German, Mesut Özil, for the style of it playing, and he could be, I think, a good number 10 for Arsenal. Of course, we would have to prove him in a completely different league like Premier League, that it's really different from Serie A, but I think he could have all the skills to do well. But before making these discussions, we have to see what he will be able to do in the second part of the season with AC Milan. If we'll be able to take Milan by the hand and maybe to bring them again in Europe, of course, in Europa League, because Champions League is too far from the position where AC Milan is now in the table, in Serie A table. Thank you so much for listening to me. You can follow me on Twitter. My page is @Emanuele. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye.
A huge thank you to Emanuele Guilianelli for helping us out with this video. Some really interesting stuff there to know that we were fully interested in Hakan's services over the January window. In fact, going as far to enter discussions with Milan for them to then turn it down based upon their need to keep him. So that's some very interesting news that we were in for an attacking midfielder during the January window. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section below. But let's move on to the statistical side of things in the second part of this episode. And we always like to start with our trusty heat map, and you can see that on your screen now. So he's a left-sided forward player, but as Emanuele said, he can play as sort of a number 10 and has done before by Leverkusen, for instance. But if he does come in and plays on that left-hand side, it does give us another option, a very skillful, talented player, someone who can take players on. Interesting, we looked at Saïd Benrahma of Brentford, another player that's very skillful, and seemingly Arsenal are looking at these options for some skillfully talented and tricky players that bring in a little bit of technical dynamism into the team. And for me, that's interesting, because it would be bringing someone in their mid-20s. 26-year-old is Hakan, and thinking about what he would do to the side and how he might play and interpret the system that Arteta's got in place would be interesting. Let me know in the comment section where you think he might fit in, and if you think he would actually oust some of the current attacking midfielders that we have in the team, because there's arguments to say that does he get in over Martinelli playing on the left-hand side at the moment? Does he get in over Mesut Ozil at number 10? Please do let me know. Let's have a look at the attacking statistics. Goals 5, assists 1 so far in the Italian domestic competitions in Serie A and the Coppa Italia. He takes just over 3 shots per game with an accuracy of 38.6%. You can see from the graphic there, he takes shots from all over the place, but the majority of those are being taken from outside. Runs into the box, as we'll talk about in a second, do occur. 2.76 touches inside the box, but actually it's more about him taking those shots. I've seen some amazing goals in his past and what he's done for both Leverkusen and AC Milan from outside the box. I remember watching AC Milan in the Europa League at the Emirates, and I remember Çalhanoglu, I'm not sure if he scored. He might have done, but they scored naps, or he's taken a fair few shots, I remember, from outside the box that worried me greatly. Crosses, 2.24 with 31.9% accuracy. It's not a big part of his game, crossing, and you can probably tell that from the fact he's only got a 31% success rate in that. Dribbles, 2.66 with a 53.6% success rate. That is very strong. Offensive duels, 6.61 with a 38.8% success rate. Again, very strong too. Enjoying seeing that. He likes taking players on and beating his man, and that's certainly something that Arsenal need. We've already mentioned the touches into the box. He makes over 2 progressive runs for his teammates in each game, and he is fouled almost once every single game too. Moving on to the passing statistics, 897 passes have been made so far this season, and an 83.8 success rate in terms of how that is. It's a decent passing accuracy, but it's not particularly high for an attacking midfielder. I'd like to see it in the high 80s for someone that is approaching their prime. Maybe that's something down to the position, the system, or the league that he plays. Maybe that would increase in accuracy if he would move to Arsenal. But the 83 is solid, but I would like to see it a little bit higher. Long passes, 64.1% accuracy is also very strong for a long passer. Getting that ball to the opposite side, switching the play, very important part of Çalhanoglu's game. But I am very, very interested to know how that would sort of be used in Arteta's plans, because what he likes from his wide players is for them to either cut inside to take the opportunity, or to slip in an inverse pass, or to get down the flank to the byline and cross the ball, neither of which seems to suit Çalhanoglu's game. So if you're moving into the middle and playing as number 10, maybe that's when the ball's over the top, or the inverted passes to the wide flanks would come in more handy. Through passes with a 37% accuracy, that's fairly decent, and we've already talked about crosses. Passes into the final third, an 80.5% success rate is very, very good. I like that statistic very much, and even though the passes in general may be lower as a statistic, the passes into the final third accuracy is high. Passes into the box is around 50-50. He's received 706 passes so far this season. He has enjoyed getting on the ball as much as possible. And forward to backward passes, it's not, the ratio there, 222 passes forward to 179 back. That's for me, maybe he goes back a little bit too often, and maybe that's down to a lack of confidence, or the fact that his forward passing is only at 72.5%. He does like to switch the play a lot, maybe backward, maybe forwards, and that does come into his game. But for me, I'd like to see that ratio in a little bit more of a positive way. However, when you think about Milan and the team that they've become over the recent few seasons or so, that is a very passive team for me, and something that doesn't really suit Çalhanoglu's game. He would like to be a more attacking player, and maybe he could unlock that at Arsenal. Now, it's important to look at the defensive stats. 54.4% of defensive duels being won. That is a brilliant piece of defensive duelling from the Turkish international. Aerial duels is winning 32.1% of those as well, which is very decent. Sliding tackles is winning 50% of those that he makes, and he's made 57 interceptions so far this season, which is very good as well. 209 losses across the season, with 30% of those being in his own half, is slightly worrying, you have to say. That's quite high. He does like to try and play the risky plays. People who got frustrated with Aaron Ramsey at Arsenal, I can sense you probably getting frustrated with Çalhanoglu as well. But he does recover the ball a fair amount as well, with 56% of those being in the opposition half, which sets up counter-attacks very effectively. 2 blocks, 14 clearances, 21 fouls and 5 yellow cards. He's not the most disciplined of players, and can pick up a couple of yellows in a few fouls that he makes, but hopefully that can be reined in ever so slightly. So there you go. That is everything you need to know about Hakan Çalhanoglu. A massive thank you again to Emanuele Guilianelli, which you can find all of the information down in the description below, and you can find him on Twitter as well. Make sure you click on that to find out, because he's a really fantastic guy to follow and get all your Italian insight. But that's going to round us off for today in terms of Hakan Çalhanoglu. I know I've butchered that pronunciation throughout the show, and I apologise. I probably pronounced Emanuele's name as well. Someone who covers a lot of European football, my pronunciations need work. It really does. I appreciate every single one of you that's watched this video. I really do, and would love for you to hit that like button and show that you appreciate this show too. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to get more exclusive and new content week in, week out, and you can get more exclusive content by becoming a member as well. Click that link in the description to find out some more. But other than that, it's been a real pleasure, as it always has. We'll be back again very soon for another show, and as always, up the Arsenal.